Welcome again to another one of my Adam's Corner videos. I'm Adam Long, the host of the Adam's Corner podcast. I do a monthly roundup of Blu-ray and 4K disc releases. And if you listen to the podcast, you know that. Obviously, it's an audio medium, so I'm not able to show you visually what I'm talking about. So I showcase these releases as I get them, let you see visually what I'm talking about as a supplement to the podcast. And without further ado, let's go on and get to it because we don't like to waste time around here. So let's start off with this one. This is an interesting curio. Seven Alone, which is a 1974 movie when they were doing a lot of these family type films like The Wilderness Family and stuff like that. The Grizzly Adams film in 1974. There were a lot of these family-oriented films, and Seven Alone is directed by Earl Bellamy. I think he also did Where the Red Fern Grows, or I believe. I know he did a television movie, Flood, one of the Irwin Allen disaster films, and quite a few other things, one of the Walking Tall sequels. So he had an interesting pedigree. The funny thing about this film is it used to turn up in the DVD cheap bins at Walmart. It was one of those, I guess, a public domain title that would turn up bundled together. And I just remember my son when he was real small telling me when he was spending some time with his either his grandmother or his mother, they watched this. They had picked it up in the cheap bin. I guess they were trying to entertain the kids. And anyway, this title stuck in my head, and it kind of has a sentimental attachment because I remember my son when he was small telling me about watching Seven Alone. Now, I'm not going to tell you it's a great film. I don't know. I haven't seen it. The reviews are kind of middling to not good. But it has an interesting cast, Aldo Ray and Dewey Martin. And it's a new upstart label, Shoreline Entertainment, Leo Mark Studios. That print is awfully small. Anyway, Shoreline Entertainment, Leo Mark Studios. I haven't gotten around to looking at the quality on this, so I really can't tell you. But, I just think it's great that this title has been released. Here's a title that I was excited to get. I've seen it. I'm a big fan of the director of this film, especially his work in the 90s and late 80s. And that is Kill Me Again, directed by John Dahl, starring the late Val Kilmer, of course. Also, I think he met his wife on the set of this film, Joanne Whaley Kilmer. The late Michael Madsen. It's hard to believe 2 out of these 3 cast members of the top billed cast are gone. It's hard to believe. But anyway, that is the case. It seems like yesterday this film was released. This paved the way for Red Rock West and The Last Seduction, 2 other great similarly themed films that this director did, John Dahl, and he wrote this with David W. Warfield. I think it had gone out of print, or maybe it was never in print on Blu-ray. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but it is now. MGM has put it out. Amazon owns the library. They own the MGM library. The only caveat here, though, is that this is being issued in the 1.33:1 format. So it's not widescreen. It's a boxy format. And I know this must have been shot in the 1.85:1 range. I need to go back and check the DVD and see if it's 1.85:1, the previous MGM DVD. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, nice to have it in Blu-ray format. I'll do some digging and see what I can come up with on a future episode. So, moving along, we have, this is a latecomer. I got this one a little later, but it's been out a while, a couple of months anyway. The Gay Divorcee. And this is a Warner Archive release, one of the first films to star Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. And it's considered to be one of their best ones, also starring Edward Everett Horton. And, this was from 1934. And I think it was following on Flying Down to Rio, which they were in that. And this kind of cemented their status as a dancing duo. It includes some animated shorts here. and radio promotional broadcasts, and the theatrical trailer. And the transfer, I'm sure, is quite stunning because all of these Warner Archive titles, they never disappoint, folks. They know what they're doing over there, and I am so looking forward to some of their upcoming releases, which we will have on future episodes. And there will be much to talk about when that happens. But until then, we'll move along to some Kino Lorber titles. We have Terror Train from 1980. This is considered to be, by most slasher film aficionados, to be one of the better of the slasher film genre. And it does have an interesting plot, a little different from the normal. Of course, it starts off with the same cliched plot about them playing a trick on somebody a prank that goes horribly wrong, and the person who was on the receiving end of the prank wants to seek revenge. But the twist here is that they're all on board a train, and Ben Johnson, the Oscar-winning Ben Johnson, is the conductor. And the killer dons several different disguises, and you're not really sure who that is. David Copperfield, the magician, plays himself here. The resolution's a little weak. It's not a great film. I think it's probably held a little bit in higher esteem than what it needs to be. But you certainly could do worse when it comes to these slasher films. And the transfer is... had a little bit of a red tinge, I thought, but generally good detail, very sharp, a lot of film grain here that had a naturally organic look. But maybe that's just the way the film was shot. I'm not sure. Anyway, 4K scan of the camera negative nevertheless, and you get 2 audio commentaries and an interview with the director and screenwriter. And the film was actually I was going to say it is written by a female, but I think this is a different writer. There's an interview. Judith Roscoe is a screenwriter who's interviewing the director of the film. So sorry about that. Roger Spottiswoode, who directed this film, incidentally went on to helm a James Bond film and many other things. He made some pretty noteworthy films. So we'll do another Warner Archive release. This is one I was, first of all, let's do another Kino Lorber release. Let's do that. We've got another one of those. This one is talk radio. Oliver Stone's, in my estimation, fantastic. This is a 1988 film that kind of flew under the radar. You get the slipcase there. This includes a new 15-minute interview with Oliver Stone, and it is there's an audio commentary here by film historians Alexandra Heller-Nicholas and Josh Nelson, a theatrical trailer. And it's saying that this is from a 2K scan of the 35mm inner positive. Now, the question I'd like to know is what happened to the negative of this film? But they did have a fire at the Universal Vaults, and this could have been the victim of that fire. I would hate to think if that's the case, because this is a phenomenal movie. And nevertheless, the transfer is pretty good. I checked this out. I'm a huge fan of talk radio. I saw it on Showtime in early 1990. I dismissed it when it came out. Didn't think a film that was about a talk radio host for 2 hours spending time with somebody just talking into a microphone didn't sound too exciting to me when I was 18 years old when it came out. But boy, was I ever wrong. And this was the film, in my opinion, that cemented Oliver Stone's. You could see his style. He was trying out new techniques, and it's like night and day watching Wall Street, the film he made before this, and this film, because he's really experimenting here. I think it's a really great film in his catalog that deserves to be seen. And it's Eric Bogosian, of course, based on his play. It was adapted, co-written by Oliver Stone. He wrote the screenplay with Eric Bogosian. And it's loosely based on the true story of Alan Bergman, who was a Denver talk radio host who was murdered. He raised a lot of people's... he got a lot of people riled up, shall we say. And so... he did it one too many times, and, well, he was gunned down, and or I think maybe he was stabbed, I can't remember, but anyway, the point is, he met his unfortunate end as a result of some of the things he was saying on his show, and so talk radio is a dramatization of that, So another Warner Archive release I was really excited about, George Stevens, A Filmmaker's Journey. This is a terrific documentary on the filmmaker George Stevens. And Warren Beatty's quote on the back of the slipcase here: in George Stevens, A Filmmaker's Journey, a son honors his father with the best film ever made about a filmmaker. And I would agree, it's one of the best. It includes, it's directed by directed by George Stevens Jr., but it features reminiscences by Frank Capra, Warren Beatty, John Huston, Joseph L. Mankiewicz, Alan Pakula, Fred Zinnemann. All of those folks are sadly no longer among us, except for Warren Beatty. There's a lot of actors who talk about this director as well. This has a couple of new featurettes. Christopher Nolan talking about George Stevens' creativity and humanistic ethics. Guillermo del Toro talking about Stevens as a modern auteur and the greatest story ever told as his most ambitious work. And Martin Scorsese talks about George Stevens' intensity and artistry in the greatest story ever told as well. And so, this is great to have this in 4K. It's a really good documentary about a solid filmmaker. And so we'll move on to a couple of 88 Films releases we have here. We have, this is Visual Vengeance is releasing this one. It's called Born a Ninja and Commando the Ninja. And I wasn't really, this is a 2-film set. I wasn't really familiar with either of these, but it does have a lot of special features here. These are transferred from the original videotapes, I think. But these are SD masters from the tape elements. Commando the Ninja commentary, the Essential Godfrey Ho video essay, and a couple other video essays here. Actor interview, image gallery, original VHS art. So, I wasn't familiar with these, I must say, but it's out there for you if you're interested. The Himalayan is an 88 Films release. I think, no, this is not another one of the Shaw Brothers films, but it is another one in their ongoing efforts to restore a lot of these long forgotten and long thought to be lost Golden Harvest and Shaw Brothers productions. This is a Golden Harvest production, this one is. And there's audio commentary here and interviews, reversible sleeve, featuring the original artwork. So the Himalayan, I think this is from 1976. It is, and it is out there now. It was released today on the day that I'm recording this. Something's Got to Give. Last but not least, this is a romantic comedy, of course. Written, produced, and directed by Nancy Meyers. It did quite well back in the day when movies of this sort got financed and actually did, and people showed up to see them. I don't see a lot of the younger folks lining up to see a film like this today, but now that we have the hit that we have with The Devil Wears Prada 2, maybe that audience would show up for something like this. I don't know. Anyway, audio commentary with, these are all archival features. Audio commentary with Nancy Meyers and Jack Nicholson, and also Diane Keaton and Bruce Block, the producer, and deleted scene, a set tour with Amanda Peet. So nothing new in the way of extras, but a lot of, it's a great cast. Keanu Reeves, Frances McDormand, Amanda Peet, Jon Favreau, and of course Jack Nicholson and Diane Keaton, the late Diane Keaton. It's hard to believe that she is no longer among us, but this is a testament to her. This was a late career box office hit for her. And believe it or not, this was never released on Blu-ray until now, which is kind of shocking when you think about it. It was stuck in DVD limbo. Maybe it'll even see a 4K release one of these days if people buy enough copies of it. But anyway, it's a cute movie. It never set the world on fire for me, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was a lot of fun. I saw it in the theater and haven't seen it since, and I'm looking forward to returning to it. Well, that's it for this edition of the Adams Corner video roundup of the latest 4K and Blu-ray releases. Until the next time, keep those discs spinning.